Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's still in the description below. That is still my email. For all of your questions about this or any watch we're offering, reach out to me for pricing. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing the Moser Cie Heritage Center Second Funky Blue. Launched in 2019, it's best described as a sports watch, albeit one that may not be the pilot's timepiece you think it is. Moser did produce a watch like this during the first half of the 20th century, and it was considered to be a general purpose professional watch for orienteering, for military field work, navigation, and of course aviation. So viable as a vintage style pilot's watch, but not limited to that genre. The watch, 42 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel, is remarkably thin at only 11.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 47 millimeters, quite compact across the wrist, and then a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. That is the strap size it uses. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. You can see it wears nicely. The lugs are barely there, a little bit like a wire lug radiomere, and so you wear it really round. You look at where the case ends, and that's the no-go zone. So if this case is inboard of the edge of your wrist, you're going to find this watch wears really well, even if the lugs project out a bit further. So my wrist, again, is 16 centimeters circumference, but I can see this wearing really well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. The strap is rustic. It's minimally tanned. There's a lot of the original marks and imperfections of the animal hide. It's designed to look like something that's rough and ready and prepared for use in the field, whether that be aviation or slogging through a swamp. As you can see, there is a contrasting stitch here, but it's a little bit off color. It's ecru colored. Now, normally when you see that on a pilot style watch, you also get a Fotina dial, and fortunately Moser didn't fall into that trap. So it's got a nice aged look to it, but it is a brand new strap. Kudu leather on the top. On the bottom calfskin, you can see Moser strap factory. No crimping, no gouging. Moser cases and buckles generally match. And here you can see that the buckle is beveled, polished, branded, and satinated. And then the case has a combination of coining on its profile and polish. The lugs are welded on. And if you look closely, you can see that this is probably a slow-going assembly at the factory when these lugs have to be welded on, because after the weld, evidence of the weld has to be removed to create a seamless break, and you don't see any gathered remaining metal. You just see a sharp seam between lug and case band. So these are really precisely manufactured and handsomely finished up. You can see a large Moser branded crown, vintage inspired, and a domed bezel with polish. Dial side. Fume means smoked, and this is a funky blue fume dial. It has a radial satin sunburst grain. It has the funky blue color that's become a signature of Moser. Fades from bright blue at the center to navy blue, almost black at the edge. We have three hands, a lollipop counterweighted lancet seconds, broadsword hours and minutes. We have a railroad track outboard for reading your minutes and your seconds. And then we've got these solid blocks of luminescent materials. You can see they're three-dimensional, so they're not printed, they're applied. And they give the watch both a lot of luminescence and a distinctive lume glow. As in the dark, you get close, you can see that the blocks have height above the dial, which is a cool look. On the reverse side, we have HMC 200, a bidirectional automatic winding manufacturer caliber that uses a magic lever style bidirectional pawl-based winding system for great efficiency and durability. The rotor in this instance, you can see it's tungsten with three different finishings between media blast, satination, and snailing. We have Moser's distinctive double-crested Côte de Genève across the bridges, 3 days of power reserve, 3 hertz beat rates, so 6 beats per second. We have a full dual-anchored balance bridge and a free-sprung balance for shock tolerance. We have a stop seconds function, and you can see here we have a variable inertia aerodynamic recessed bolt balance. Moser, through its precision engineering subsidiary, impressively building the escapement, the balance, and the hairspring in-house. You can see that the screw heads are mirror polished. In addition to the double-crested Côte de Genève, we have a nice, mostly machined, but polished bevel. It's a two-step. It's been machined and then polished, and you can see it does have a mirrored shine. We have satination across the balance bridge as well as on the stud holder, and then engine-turned perlage on the base plate with satination on the crown wheel and crown wheel core, as well as the wheels of the train, and then a polished click that looks quite nice. All of that again with 3 days of power reserve, 30 meters water resistance, so you don't want to take this one swimming, but for all other occasions, it's much more than a pilot's watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.